no one cares. Are you kidding me? No one is like, oh, I'm not going to vote for the Democrats because they don't lift weights. Donald Trump is the president, okay? Donald Trump can't even walk up a flight of stairs. Joe Biden was more physically fit at the age of 900 than Donald Trump, and his brain was leaking out of his ear, okay? Shut the up. This is so dumb. Nobody gives a about how much you can lift, how much you can bench. When it comes to politics, put the policies in the bag. That's it. Oh, she mentions you at 1412.
Blamed for this dangerous and scary protein craze. They did a whole profile on Hasan Piker where they said that because he worked out, because he has like visible abs and flexes and posts photos on his Instagram and then that he has a MAGA body. Like they are saying the quiet part out loud. They are acknowledging that health is not important to them, that fitness is a right-wing thing. Like that is where we have gotten right now. So no wonder your revolution.
Yeah, I mean, fitness is not a right-wing thing, and it's very frustrating that people have, like, done this. And once again, I would go so far as to say it's not dissimilar to the ways in which, in, like, the Gamergate craze, a lot of liberals themselves actually represented, like, the hysterical woke scold style cartoonish depiction of the left willingly and voluntarily. We have too much marketing people on our side ideologically to consistently allow our opponents to frame the conversation around a reality that does not exist. If you look at the real world, if you look at, not that it matters whether someone is like physically fit or not, ultimately, I don't give a shit about that kind of thing, even though I personally like it. And I think it's good if people are physically fit in general. But from a political perspective, I don't think it says anything about your politics. Having said that, however, if you were to look at like areas where a lot of Democrats congregate versus areas where a lot of Republicans congregate, and you just put a lineup of like the average Republican versus the average Democrat, I think the physically fit voters would most likely lean on the side of the average Democrat. It's partially born out of material conditions, of course. It's born out of like having disposable income or time to go to the gym, not living in a food desert. Republican areas are poorer on average than Democrat areas are. And a lot of Democrats do care about their health in way more meaningful ways than the Republicans do. It's kind of, it's not dissimilar to like gaming, right? People just think like, oh, gaming is right wing. All gamers are right wing. They're all. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. It's just that they flood the market with this kind of commentary to try to make it seem as though that's the case. And the same goes for gym culture. And they flood the market with content creators that are finding themselves on the apolitical side, which usually snaps to reactionary commentary, reactionary politics. Same with anime, same with everything else. It's very frustrating to experience. Would you say that the main divide between the right and left is how empathetic people are? Because I feel like that's the case in so many cases. Yes. I think when it's like, if you bring it back to like two different poles and what like first principles look like without actually identifying them, without actually like getting too far into ideological tendencies and whatnot, it genuinely comes from individualism and empathy. That's it. People on the left flank of politics, adjusted to whatever time frame, adjusted to whatever country, adjusted to whatever culture you want to present, are always going to be the more empathetic side. And people on the right flank of politics, whatever you want to call them, right, are always going to be more on the individualist, selfish, less empathetic side. It's that simple. I got mine. It's a constant struggle, everybody else. That's it. That's why I always say, like, my politics are about not being a and only bullying those who are bullying others. Okay? That's what it comes down to. That's unironically what it comes down to. Everything else is just like seasoning. Everything else is just marketing. Okay? Yeah, party of me versus party of we.
Left-wing Democratic Socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani can't even bench 135 without a spot. And you might be saying, Brett, you can't even bench 135. I know. But when you go on X, there were so many women on there who were saying, okay, I know that I can't do this, but like men, this is your wheelhouse. Like, what is, an average what do I want to say? PR? Like, what do you guys actually bench? And the replies were hysterical. People were like, no, 135 is like my warm up. And people were like, there are all of these threads of like, yeah, 250, 180, whatever. I asked Alex, apparently his PR was, I think it's 285. Hopefully I'm not butchering that. Love you if I am. He said, don't expect him to do that anymore because he like blew out his shoulder in college trying to do that. But anyway, that is what is going on here. Like, no wonder your big candidate can't do that when this is the culture that you've created, when you have created a culture that has villainized health and fitness. And I don't even know if the left cares, like at all. They villainized this. They've walked away from it. They have lost this. I don't think they care. However, Grand Canyon University does care about the culture that they cultivate on.
Oh, shut the up. That's a crazy segue into an ad. Okay, so couple things here. Number one, the notion that like the liberals and the left have like vilified working out, idiotic, incredibly marginal, not a real thing at all. It's just also not a part of objective reality. Once again, okay, look at the average liberal living in a city and how much they work out, whether it's Pilates or yoga or whatever the they're doing, versus the average Republican in a place like Oklahoma, for example. Go to a Walmart, okay? It's ridiculous. I said this even with the MAGA body that the New York Times did on my profile, right? So that's already incredibly stupid, okay? You can be jacked to the gills and be a liberal or a Republican. None of this matters. It's just marketing. These people are just like leaning into that to make it seem as though that is just the case when it just doesn't matter. It's not a part of reality at all. Secondly, and this is perhaps more important, Zohran Mamdani at the age of 33 is infinitely healthier than the average politician, both by his age and also by what kind of work he does. He is incredibly physically fit. He's just not physically fit in the lifting side of things. That's it. What's really frustrating about this process is that Zohran Mamdani walks, 20,000 steps a day. What are we talking about? Get any right-wing Republican or even someone like myself. I work out all the goddamn time. I wouldn't be able to keep up with him. I wouldn't be able to walk the entire island of Manhattan. It's just a different kind of fit. Okay? That's it. You're comparing cardiovascular capabilities to strength, pure strength. That's all this is. And cardio is incredibly important. Zohran is a cardio guy, clearly. Okay? That's it. Like, if that was the case, then Sam Sulek would be the most, like, physically fit guy on the planet. And I love Sam, but let's be real, okay? Zohran Mamdani working out, the notion that, like, right-wingers work out more than leftists do or liberals do, all this stuff is ridiculous, is so dumb. But no one, and I mean no one, is dumber than Ben Shapiro talking about this. Because, like, Brett Cooper gets into it, and she's doing all the back and forth. She's yapping.
Recalibrate and hit the gym.
But we got to talk about Ben Shabibo coming out and also swinging as Zohran Mamdani.
So that you can bench more than 135 and be stronger than Mamdani, including myself. Anyway, moving on, back to the left and them caring about their culture. The funny thing is, even though the left was, putting out these articles and these opinion pieces just 3 months ago, now randomly, they do care about fitness. They do care about hitting the gym. And that's because they've realized that it's losing them votes. Because remember, a few months ago...
Dude, no, this is not real. No one cares. Are you kidding me? No one is like, oh, I'm not going to vote for the Democrats because they don't lift weights. Donald Trump is the president, okay? Donald Trump can't even walk up a flight of stairs. Joe Biden, at the age of 854, was more physically fit than Joe Biden. And his brain, Joe Biden was more physically fit at the age of 900 than Donald Trump. And his brain was leaking out of his ear, okay? Shut the up. This is so dumb. Nobody gives a about how much you can lift, how much you can bench. When it comes to politics, put the policies in the bag. That's it. What is happening? Why does everybody entertain these idiotic arguments? I can't stand this shit, dude. Oh, this person can bench press this much. This person can bench press that much. It's like, who cares? Anyway, Ben said he puts up 200, dog. It took me a year lifting it 6 days a week to reach those numbers. Yeah, I don't think it's correct. I think Ben is lying, but we'll get to that in
Zorman.
a second. We'll get to the Ben Shapiro clip in a second. We're doing more Ben Shapiro than ever on this broadcast this past week. It is like it's 2020 all over again. Okay.
Right around the time that all those, articles were coming out, that hit piece about me came out, the Democrats announced that they were going to be investing $20 million in order to figure out how to win back young men. Now, one of the things that they discovered after this incredible research into the syntax and the interest of young American men is that men are going to the gym. So Democrats should be as well. One MSNBC opinion piece talked about this, and in this
Do you
article,
even vote, bro? Democrats should look at new voters at the gym. Oh God. Oh. Okay. How is Zohran Mamdani so much better at captivating the attention of young voters, young men especially, white men too, than anybody else that's running for the same office, and he can't outlift Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa, or Eric Adams? How is that possible then? Turns out it has nothing to do with what your bench press is, bro. These people are so dumb. What are we doing? What is this conversation? American politics has to be about everything but politics, okay? Politics, simply put, is about distribution of resources, power, and the continuation of said distribution with violence. Who gets to do violence? Who are the victims of said violence? That's what politics is. In America, on the other hand, politics is anything but what politics actually is, okay? It's about how much you can bench press. It's about whether you put Dijon mustard. It's about whether you wear like whatever the f you're wearing. It's all about whatever commodities you're consuming. Are you a Labubu consumer? Are you a Labubu matcha enjoyer? Do you drink raw milk? None of this is about politics, man. When we're talking about actual politicians, what matters is their policies. What the And Democrats entertain this idiotic notion as well. Cracker Barrel logos. Are they woke? Are they unwoke? What's going on there? It's so stupid. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. And that is by design, by the way. The reason why American politics is about anything but actual policy and actual politics, how we distribute the finite resources that we have, is by design, because both parties in the duopoly do not stand for the working class. So no one is actually out there invested in truly trying to reverse the trajectory that we're heading in the direction of. That's the reason why everybody plays their own version of the same damn equation, where they have to just be like, oh yeah, I'm a leftist because I work out, or this person is right wing because they drink raw milk and eat 12 eggs a day. Shut the up. What are we doing? What are we doing? God damn, dude. The reason why Zohran was able to cut away from that noise is because he was issue focused. That's it. That's it. That's it. We are issue focused.